Welcome to video 4-4. Here we're going to be talking about writing linear functions. So remember that we already learned the slope-intercept form of a line. That's the y equals mx plus b, and we always use that where m is standing for the slope and b is your y-intercept. And then we've already talked about also function notation, which is just replacing that y value with f of x equals. So that's what we need to do here. F of x equals, and then still the mx plus b. So those are the only difference between these two forms here. So we're going to read through some word problems highlighting important information, and then we're going to write our equation. So Alex makes ceramic bowls to sell at a monthly craft fair in a nearby city. Every month she spends $50 on material for the bowls from her local art store. At the fair she sells each completed bowl, so each bowl, for a total of $25 including tax. So that's how much they sell for. Which equation expresses Alex's profit as a function? So that means that we have to use that p of x because function notation uses the f of x. So instead of f, they're just putting p in place of that. The number of bowls that she sells in 1 month. Well, I know that she is going to spend $50 on material and it's $25 per bowl. So the number of bowls she sells, I don't know. So I have to do the 25 with the x. So knowing that, I can automatically eliminate two choices. It's not $50 per bowl and it's not $15 per bowl. But then I see that she's going to spend $50. So if we're talking about her profit, that's not a part of her profit. That needs to be subtracted out of the profit. So that's why the correct answer here is 2. Okay, next example. Veronica earned $150 at work this past week in her paycheck. She wanted to buy some necklaces which cost $6 each. She writes a function to model the amount of money she will have left from her paycheck after purchasing a certain number of necklaces. She writes the function f of x equals 150 minus 6x. We need to determine what x and f of x represent in the function. So basically we need some words here. Well, if I look at my equation, my function here, I can see that 6 is paired with the x, and $6 was the amount for the necklaces. So I think that the $6 is being multiplied by the number of necklaces. So x must stand for the number of necklaces. So I wrote that by saying x is the number of necklaces that Veronica buys. Then if I look back, I can see that the 150, we're subtracting 6x. So if I think about that, that's going to be the amount that she started with, from her paycheck, subtracting how much she's spending. That's going to give me the amount of money she has left, which makes sense because they said that the function models the amount of money she still has from her paycheck after purchasing a certain number of necklaces. So the f of x is the amount of money that Veronica has left after buying x necklaces. Okay, let's do one more together. So this time we're going to write one together. So Lyft car service will charge a flat fee of $4.75. So I'm going to pay that no matter what. And an additional $1.50 per mile. So that means that we're going to add $1.50 per mile m that is traveled. Then we need to write an equation that represents the total charges as a function, so that's why they wrote here C of m. So that means I have to start off with C of m equals, and then I can look back and see, okay, well, what's my cost going to be? Well, I'm going to pay the $4.75, which remember, we don't put the dollar sign in there because that's just confusing, and an additional, so plus $1.50, so 1.5 or 1.50 times the number of miles, and they said m represented that, so times m. This is then my equation that I could use to find the total charges. Okay, that's it for this video. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. Have a good evening.